what's going on? It's the legend Adam Ball here with Breaking Records Radio, killing it in 2018. Woo-shot.
What's up? This is Derek.
Jamie Madrock.
Man, this your man's Obi Trice.
This is Ad-Lib.
Yo, what up? This is Specs Wonder.
This is Spesh K.
Hot Rock's the motherfucking Skot MC.
Breaking
Records.
Breaking Records Radio out here.
This is Breaking Records Radio.
Check them out, man.
Yes, Breaking Records Radio in the place to be. And you know what it is? We got the legend, A-Bomb, Adam Bomb, you know what I'm saying? Empire.
Hey.
Naturally born strangers.
Hey.
Freedom Riders.
Damn right.
We got some people crawling through here, but you know what's happening. We got the legend in the place to be right now. We got who may be possibly the nicest MC with the pen out of Toronto of all time.
Wow.
And when I say that, I don't say that lightly, because I've interviewed a lot of artists from Toronto, Maestro Fresh West, a lot of cats, and everybody has a certain respect for Adam Bomb.
Wow, man, that means a lot, man. If everybody thought like you, we'd all be happy people around.
Yeah,
these
say
ways.
word,
So,
right?
Yeah, man, that's blessed, man. It's nice to be here.
Well, at the end of the day, you know, it's unfortunate that mic skills don't pay the bills.
Hey, I said it myself, man. If records sold for rhyming nice, I'd have went diamond twice and spent it on private flights. So, you know what I mean? That's how it goes.
And you got the bar too. I can't remember it quote for quote, so I don't want to fuck it up.
No worries.
But you got the line about how you won the Juno and the next day you're riding to work on the bus.
Yeah, man, that was the coolest guy on the subway that day. I'll tell you that, man. Fucking, that's how it goes, man. It's reality. It's Canada. That's how it works.
And that is what it is too. It's sad the Canadian scene, but at the same time, I like to give props to our legends, and I don't want to like unquote it, but it's like, you know how like Nori's always saying on Drink Champs, you know, give your flowers while people are around?
For sure.
Well, that's kind of what Breaking Records is about. It's about, you know, giving people their props due while they're around to give you the due props. And one thing I think is dope too is like, so you were part of so many influential parts of the Toronto hip-hop scene. You're a part of Empire, you're a part of Freedom Riders, you're part of Naturally Born Strangers. You guys won Juno on that shit.
Yeah, man.
But it wasn't until 2017 you decided to finally drop a solo project.
That's it.
So what was like, why was it such a long wait between doing all these group projects that you did? You know, like, and clearly you were a standout MC on all this stuff because people have credited you one of the illest. I can remember, I'm not even gonna lie, I can remember, I used to live in Brantford, Ontario. I don't even know if you know where that is.
Been there, yeah.
Wayne Gretzky's home.
Yeah.
My father was a post office worker.
Nice.
He had a dude who was about 20 years younger than him who used to work with him.
Yeah.
He used to be like, my son raps and stuff and all that. And he's like, And the first time I ever heard you is because this dude he worked with used to live in Toronto, and he gave him CDs to give to me that were C4 and Adam Bomb old mixtapes.
Wow, man. Shouts to C4, shouts to Brantford, man. I didn't know it reached out there like that, especially in those days, man. That's crazy.
And so to me, it's crazy because you've been regarded as one of the nicest on the mic, and yet it wasn't until 2017 you actually dropped your own, this is Adam Bomb, you know what I mean? You did the Live from Large Stone, you did the A material.
Yeah.
So just like, the first question I guess is like, why was it such a wait? Like,
I mean, my goal was never to be solo. I was always about the group. And if it wasn't going to be a whole group, at least it was going to be like a duo.
Yeah.
And if anything, I was going to be the Spliff Star, or I was going to be the Flavor Flav. I was never going to be the Chuck D or the Busta Rhymes. I was just supposed to compliment whoever the main guy was. That was my goal, you know what I mean? I didn't ever really want to be on the stage solo like that.
Say word.
I mean, yeah, I just like to fill in the spots, you know what I mean? Sometimes, it's hard for me to even fill a whole record sometimes. I just know how to play the background, you know?
Yeah.
But after a while, especially when I started getting up with NBS, those guys started building up their name and their rep real big. So what I didn't want to do was be considered just the third guy. I didn't want to be Theodore or the Chipmunks, who's just, it's Tona and Rich Kid and then their friend. So I felt like, I got to put together my own solo shit to build up my own reputation. So that was the whole reason for doing Large Stone finally and for doing A material, is just to be like, if I'm gonna be a part of Naturally Born Strangers, I gotta hold my own weight and I gotta have my own catalog started.
Say word.
Yeah, that's all it was
so it's
about.
kind of
Really.
almost like the pressure from the the Juno,
Yeah.
shit like that, like all the.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to waste nobody's time, and I don't want to be a guy who's just a part of someone else's album. I wanted to be an integral, an important part of it. And if I wasn't going to be that, then I would have just stepped away. So it was an important time for me to just say, can I hold my own record and share my own thoughts?
It's crazy too, man, because you have the most memorable verses from some of the old Empire records, like Naturally Born Strangers, like Tiebreaker. That's another thing I want to talk to you about. Like Tiebreaker is one of the heaviest Canadian hip hop records I've ever heard.
I appreciate that.
And like you did the first verse, you set it up for Tona to come in and finish the story with the boy with his blood on the wall and his auntie ain't nobody want to cover
both verses is me. Tona did the hook on that, but I did both verses there.
What?
Yeah, that's me. Both verses. Yeah. Tona did the hook at the end of the record.
Get the fuck out of here. That's you on both verses.
Both verses. Yeah.
So that makes sense why the song lines up so perfectly.
Well, it's a true story still. So
word.
It's based on two separate stories, but I tied it together. So yeah, I know a girl who plays ball like that, and then I also know the story on the other side of a guy who took it too far and somebody got hit in the way. So I just tied the two together. So that part's not real, but the other two stories are factual.
That is crazy.
Yeah, for sure, man.
That song, what that reminds me of is like the way that song gives you goosebumps when you listen to it, and when you catch it, it's like. That's like Tupac with Brenda's Got a Baby.
Wow, that's.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's
huge,
one of those joints, and I've never showed that joint to somebody where they're like, "Yeah, it's alright."
Yeah.
Like when I'm like, "Yo, you gotta listen to this heavy record."
Yeah.
Everything from the beat, like.
I might even throw that in the set tonight just because you said that. So usually we come up with some last second decisions.
Yeah.
And my boy Wilfie on the way in said you're gonna do the villain, and I wasn't gonna do it, but he hit me up, so I was like, I'll throw it in. If you want to do tiebreak, I'll throw tiebreak in the set tonight.
If you did tiebreak,
at least for a piece,
that
man. You know what I mean?
Night,
sick, much appreciated. And thank you for listening to that record. A lot of people hear the beat, and they follow along for a little bit, and then they get into a conversation. So to catch the whole story, I appreciate that.
That's one of those songs you like. See, and that's what I think it is a difference of what real hip hop and people who listen to hip hop for what it is,
for sure,
and the people who don't. Because that's one of those records that's like a classic record there. And if it was up to me, I mean, I know the Naturally Born Strangers, which you won the Juno off of, right?
Yeah.
But that would be the joint there that you like. The rest of the album alone is dope, but that joint right there.
Yeah,
that's worth the Juno.
I was blessed to get a video out of that. Originally, I had a record that
the way you guys did the video.
Those guys are all real geniuses. And shouts to Jelly Too Fly for coming through on that. But she played the ball player in the video.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, Jelly Too Fly, and she can ball. She's sick. But the reason why I'm super happy that actually has a video is I have a song that came out maybe like 3-4 years before that called Running Scared. It's a song about just basically deadbeat fathers and shit.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to put a visual to it because it's a story record, and I figured they would fit perfectly. And at the time I just couldn't connect with a director that wanted to give it the visual I was hoping for. And then when they offered me, MBS heard that record and they said, yo, we're gonna put this on the project and we're gonna do a video for it. I was pumped because that was like a redemption for Running Scared. So yeah, so I was super pumped to have that record out as a video, man.
So Tiebreaker kind of started off as Running Scared.
No. So Running Scared is a joint I had years before, and because it never went anywhere visual wise,
it was like
I was like, man, I didn't get the full A to Z feel of the record out for people because sometimes the video is what sells the whole song, right? And for Tiebreaker, I think it sold it a little bit more. And yeah, everybody involved in that did a great job, man.
Yo, man, that's crazy.
For sure.
And to even take it back a little further too, because a lot of people, especially in this generation, they don't understand what SARS and what Empire meant to Canadian hip hop. Like I remember, like once again, like I said, I came up in Brantford, you know what I mean? I had C4 tapes, I had Atom Bomb, Empire tapes, you know what I mean? And I got that shit through my dad. My dad don't know hip hop, you know what I mean?
Hey.
But he got it through people who knew Toronto hip hop.
However you find it,
and they passed it down like, yo, I think your son will like this if this is what he's about, you know what I mean?
That's awesome, though.
Another record I think that never got the respect it fully deserved was the Toronto joint you guys did with the Stompin' Tom Collins sample.
Oh, yeah.
I was born. The one we were singing before we started the intro.
Toronto. Yeah. That's Tone Mason, man. And like
that was Tone on that beat.
Tone Mason did the beat, and then that Blacker there. So what happened was that joint was one of the last ones we put on that Get It album, and I always had that sample. That's all good. It's all good. I always had that sample in the stash, and I'd always shoot out. Yeah, man. I used to shoot out samples to producers, be like, can you do something with this? And I sent that one to a few people, and they were like, I can't mess with it. And I sent it to Tone Mason, and within, like, I'd say 20 minutes, he dropped that back over, and I was like, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. That's it. And then Scandals jumped on it. I jumped on it. Yeah.
Scandalous killed that.
I was debating putting that one on the set today. I didn't even bring that instrumental with me.
Say word.
Yeah, because I figured it's a connect the dot stuff, so it would have been good to do it. But I didn't even know if people even knew that joint.
I can't even lie. If I seen you do that tonight, I'd be geeking.
You hit me with a Nardwar moment there. I didn't even think people knew that joint, man. That's crazy.
And the Stop and Tom Collins sample.
Yeah,
and
man.
you picked that shit.
Yeah, I found it. That was like LimeWire days. I just found it randomly, and I was just like, oh shoot, I gotta put this on something.
Man.
Yeah, man, that's a good record, man.
That is like, I can't
joint.
even lie, like, you know,
The sports.
I don't know all the old Sorry shit. I don't know all the old Empire shit, but out of what I know, that is my favorite Empire record.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
mean, Boom and Pound was another one of my favorites. I really like that joint a lot too.
Yeah.
But the Toronto, just the way you guys killed it, man. Like, you did it all on the sport teams, and like, you know.
Scandals did the street shit. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we ain't won a cup since 6 or 7, but we feel we eventually will, because it's when it's cold.
And I hope we do, man. This might be the year. Shout out to Austin Matthews. Yeah.
So that's crazy, man. And it's, to me, just as a hip-hop nerd fan, you know, it's so cool to hear these stories. And so another story, I mean, Shortcut was supposed to be present for this, but he's gone. But so when I interviewed Shortcut a while back, he told me, yo, Shortcut's in the place to be. Where you at?
Come here, man.
So the birth of Empire,
Yeah.
did it really start from you coming to Shortcut's crib one day, and him and his brother being like, what the fuck, this guy's crazy!
Yeah, man. So shouts to Craven Moorhead. So from my side, I showed up. He's like, yo, I'm gonna show you a DJ friend of mine. I was like, all right, I'm with it. I'm about 15 years old at the time. And then he goes, okay, we're going to Regent Park. He goes, I'm coming to Regent Park. So I was like, all right, let's see how it goes. So we showed up, opened the door. Inside the place, Sky just had crates of records everywhere, and I seen it on stage. I never seen it in a place like that where, you know, it's that accessible. He had all the tapes I ever had as a kid, and I was just like, this feels right. And he just started running instrumentals. I started kicking verses to it. So his brother comes in and he just says, yo, this is my plan. We're gonna come up with something called the Empire, where we get all the best DJs, producers, break dancers, MCs, whatever it is. We're gonna build it, call it the Empire. And I was like, I'm with it. Let me go find the rappers. And then that was my job. I just went in and found the guys.
So you went and dug up like Trey and fucking Scandalous.
I mean, if you got time on the camera, I'll tell you all. There's a whole song. I have a song called "It Was All a Dream," and if you ever hear that record, it's produced by a Bibber, Shebib 40.
That was actually something I was gonna get into.
He made that beat. So when he gave me that, the whole thing is just the story of how it came about. So what really happened, and to make it short, is that happened with Shortcut, and then. One day I end up going to After Hours and I meet Scandalous and Tech Man, and then they said, yo, tomorrow what are you doing, which is a Sunday. I was like, I'm chilling. And he goes, it's Chin Picnic. I was like, all right, let's do it. So this is 2000, the year 2000. So we go out to Chin Picnic. I used to walk at the time with a boombox all the time and a bag full of tapes, full of instrumentals that Shortcut made. So yeah, he definitely laid the ground for Empire. And then
Shortcut!
We walked the park that entire day, and at the time, this is before 8 Mile and all that shit. Everyone was in the battling. Everyone was just in the battle, and we must have had 45, 50 battles that night, and it was a whole, like, if you can't beat them, join them thing. Every time someone stepped up that was too nice for us to take, we're like, yo, roll with us. And that's how Trey got on there, and that's how,
fuck out
that's
here.
what it was. And then by the end of the day, we had about maybe like 12 members, because I had Toxic with me, and then fucking, they had everybody. So that's the bare essence of it, and then from there it just built, man.
Get the fuck out of here. So you guys literally built Empire
straight
off of some real street,
off of skills,
battle,
off of skills,
fucking shit.
Yeah, and I mean,
oh my god,
yeah.
That is literally like iller than I could have ever imagined.
It was crazy, man.
The fucking story to be.
And then from there we were just rhyming, and then 40 was just like, hey man, he knew Tech from his school, and for years he was hitting us up like, yo, I can do some beats for you. And then eventually we got together. He started making the beats, and then that was a squad, Empire for life.
That
you know,
is crazy, man.
Yeah, man.
So how does it feel too? So like for being part of such a monumental hip hop group in Toronto.
Yeah.
Like to see one of the dudes who you guys came up with to reach plateaus like 40 did.
No, I mean, it's nuts. And
I know he still shows you guys love. Like he was playing Show and Prove on OVO Radio.
Yeah, man. We got to join together. He looked out for me for a bunch of the beats off of A material, and like Man, he's just a wicked dude, and it's crazy that whenever we do get a chance to link up, he'll always tell me to come by the place. And when I go there, I think I'm going to go check Bibber, who's what we always call Shebib for years. And I always think I'm just going to go check him. And then when I get there, I see the plaques. You see the fucking Lil Wayne and the Nicki Minaj plaques. You start realizing, oh yeah, I forgot this is 40. This is not Bibber anymore. This is 40. And then it starts hitting you like, oh, I forgot I'm dealing with one of the, the top guys in the world at this. So it's a blessing, man. And that guy's a genius. From 2000, he was a genius. The fastest engineer I've ever worked with. And like he'll take any record from a 4 out of 10 to a 12 out of 10 instantly. He's just the best. Honestly, he's the best. I couldn't say nothing about 40. Yeah, I can't say nothing bad about 40.
That's crazy, my man. That's crazy. So what I want to get into then, man, I'm glad we got some of the Empire history. I mean, if we were in a better setting, I would obviously, even like if you're down for it,
100%.
Let's link together. We can even get, because I'm all about the history of hip hop, and I want to school people so they can understand why we are where we're at and how it became this way, you know what I mean?
And I mean, the same way you're saying that your pops' friend showed you my stuff there, you might be the person that shows somebody else my stuff 2 years, 3 years down the line, and it's all worth doing it. Yeah, I'm definitely down to check it. We'll do it again.
So if you're into it, in a better setting sometime, I'd definitely be happy to, do something even more in depth. But I'm glad, that's crazy. Like, I couldn't even imagine to get that story out of you right now. That's insane. But so I wanna keep this on your level right now, you know what I mean, and do this for you. So talk to the people a little bit about the Live from Large Stone project you got with Big Sprox.
Yeah, man.
It was the first of 2, well actually 3, because you did the Freedom Writers.
Yeah.
So it was one of 3 albums you dropped in 2017, right?
That's right. Yeah. So Freedom Writers there was 3. So it was A Material, Live from Large Stone, and again from the Freedom Writers. So that was the goal. And man, Live from Large Stone was wicked because
that's your first solo project.
It was. And what happened was we recorded A Material and Live from Large Stone all at the same time. So they were both finished. Yeah, they were done at the same time. And it was a big gamble to say, what are we going to put out first? Are we going to put out Live from Large Stone, or are we going to put out A Material first? And we rolled the dice and just said, let's put out Large Stone, and that was the first joint out. Then A Material was ready to go right after that, and then I held back on the next one because I have a third one ready to go.
I was just gonna say, because if I'm not mistaken, you have a whole album that, correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't have samples on it.
Yeah, it's all
original.
Yeah.
No credit to samples due.
Exactly.
So it's all,
So now we can actually get into it.
I'm pretty sure that's what I had seen,
For sure, and I mean, it still has that feel to it though, so I don't ever want to lose that, that original vibe that we used to bring.
Yeah, like as a real hip-hop head, that sampling is the heartbeat of hip-hop.
Yeah, man, I mean, it goes back to that, but as long as it keeps your head moving and, you feel it, that's all I care about, man.
Dope, man. So when can we expect the upcoming project then?
I mean, I wouldn't want to give it a date, but I'd say, man,
sometime 2018?
Yeah, 18,
Dope, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. So a little bit, well, actually, I had no idea you did Live from Large Stone and A Material at the same time.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
all the same, man.
That's crazy.
The first Freedom Writer album was recorded at the same time as all of the first NBS albums.
Word, eh?
Yeah, we do sessions on Wednesday for NBS and then sessions on Thursday for Freedom Writers. So,
because I guess Freedom Writers and NBS have a lot of, they're almost the same group, minus Sprox and...
Well, kind of, yeah. I mean, we got guys like Progress and Theo 3 and all those guys in Freedom Writers, and Freedom Writers' whole vibe is like more conscious and community-minded and stuff like that. And then NBS is just about wilding out and having a good time. So it was a good balance because, you could write one record that's, all...
and you're like, all right, this don't work for Freedom Writers, let's put it for NBS.
The Freedom Writers shit was all nutritional, and then the NBS is all sugar. So you know what I mean? Like, we get wild off of that. So, it's good to have the balance. That's my whole policy, is keep the balance.
Yo, I agree with that, actually, not to make it about me, but the last album I put out was called The Perfect Balance. So
that's it. I'm a Libra, man. We keep the scales.
I'm a Libra, my man. October 22nd.
15th,
bro. Word up, my man. So, can we expect another Natural Born Strangers album?
Coming right in summertime, and it's insane.
Get out of here.
If I could promote anything, it's that album.
Say a word,
It's the best music I ever made. It's insane. It's insane, man.
Dope, man. Alright, well, I mean, I know you got a show you got to attend to. Chris Thomas, say what up.
Chris Thomas is on the Natural Born Strangers.
Yo.
But yeah, so, I mean, we're sitting here, we're in a hallway, you got 100,000 people trying to cross by, you got a show to do. So we'll cut it for you, you know, I don't want to keep it over-accentual, but at the same time, I would love to get you on the program again, you know, really get more in depth about the whole history, everything. If you're into it, but this is the legend A-Bomb, you know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
Check out
Respect.
the legend, you know what I mean?
Break a record.
Check it out, you know what I'm saying? A Material, live from Limestone. You already heard, you got a new Naturally Born Strangers album coming out this year.
It's fire.
They did the Freedom Writers album last year.
Yeah.
There's nothing but straight dope material to check out from this man. If you can't even comprehend that, you can go back and check the old Empire tapes. You can check all that shit.
Start from the ground up, man.
There's a reason they call him the legend. But thank you for your time, my man.
Respect. Thank you for yours, man. Much appreciated. Bang, bang.
Peace.